Miss Henry. What are you doing?
I'm reading my lab report to see what I need to do.
Oh,
Wait a second, what are you doing?
well, I'm doing my lab too.
No, Mrs. Hirschner, have you read your directions yet?
Read the directions?
You're not going to be able to do it successfully without reading it first. How do you know you're supposed to cut that banana up?
Well, I don't know. Where did you get your directions at?
I found them online, on the message board, and in the lesson modifications. Didn't you see them?
Uh-oh, I forgot to read my lesson modification notes.
Mrs. Hirschner, you're supposed to do that every single time before you start a lab.
Uh-oh.
Don't you know the safety rules?
What safety rules?
There's 10 of them. The first one is to always follow written and verbal directions carefully and to ask if you don't understand.
Oops. What are you doing, Miss Henry?
My science lab.
Oh, really? What's that about?
Fruit. It's really cool.
Oh, let me see. Ooh, that's a nice magnifying glass.
Mrs. Hirschner, you're being annoying.
Oh! Ow!
Just kidding. But really, you could hurt yourself in the lab.
You need to pay attention to rule number 2.
What's that rule, Mrs. Hirschner?
Conduct yourself in a responsible manner. Absolutely no horseplay or pranks.
Hey, Mrs. Hirschner?
Yes?
Can you grab me that lemon juice, please?
Okay. Oh, no! I'm sorry.
That's okay. We just need to remember safety rule number 3.
What's safety rule number 3, Miss Henry?
It is make each movement planned and purposeful.
Yes, that way you don't accidentally knock something over when you're doing a lab.
Exactly.
Now where did I put the instructions?
Mrs. Hirschner, what are you doing?
I was just starting my lab for my science experiment today, and I can't seem to find my instructions.
Oh no. Well, you know, your lab area is pretty messy.
Messy? You think so?
Definitely. Look at all this stuff all over the place. You can't even find which lab sheet you're supposed to be using.
Uh-oh.
You should think about using safety rule number 4.
What's safety rule number 4?
You need to make sure you keep your lab area neat and clean before, during, and after your lab.
Why should I do that?
That way you know where all of your things are and you don't accidentally use something you're not supposed to. Wouldn't you hate to have to do your lab all over again?
I guess you're right, like always, Miss Henry. Hey, Miss Henry, what you doing?
My science lab. Thanks for showing up, science partner.
Ugh. What did you put on those bananas? What's this?
Lemon juice.
Whew. Sour.
Wait a second. What are you doing?
What? I was just sampling a little. Can a girl get some food around here?
Not that food. Did you know if I put any chemicals in there?
I don't know. Did you? Is that why the bananas tasted so weird?
Hey, no! You need to spit that gum out right now. Why are you chewing gum in the lab?
I don't know. Are you not allowed to chew gum in the lab?
Absolutely not. Mrs. Hirschner, can you read this to me, please?
rule number 5. Never eat, drink, chew gum, or taste anything in the lab. Man, I did it again. Okay, I think the next step is to, let's see, add my 150 milliliters of water.
Wait, Mrs. Hersher, stop!
What?
You forgot your safety equipment. Didn't you see the safety note on your lab sheet?
But I have on my glasses. Don't my glasses protect me enough?
But look at these ones, they're different. What if you got splashes? That one will protect your eyes.
Oh,
And
okay.
you need your UGG gloves because that's hot. Don't want to burn yourself. And just in case you splash something, you need your lab safety coat.
That's right, Miss Henry. I forgot all about lab rule number 6. Always dress for lab and wear your personal safety equipment when instructed to by your teacher.
And you know, you may not have a lab safety coat at home, but that's okay. You can use an apron or an old t-shirt.
Great. Now we're ready. So I'm doing my lab for my pH testing. Okay, first it says, let's see, I need to pour some bleach into
Mrs.
Beaker.
Hersher, I'm going to tell on you.
What?
You didn't ask your learning coach for permission.
Oops. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Well, you know why? Because that could be dangerous.
Bleach?
Well, yeah. If you get it on your skin, you could have an abrasion or something.
Oh no.
So you need to always make sure that you ask your learning coach for permission before you get out any kind of chemicals.
Okay, I'll remember for next time.
And don't forget that last rule, you probably needed your safety glasses.
Uh-oh. Look at this snail. What in the world is it doing up there? Fishy, fishy. Maybe if I
Mrs.
just-
Hersher,
What?
don't you remember rule number 8 in the safety rules?
No, what's rule number 8?
You need to always treat organisms, animals, and specimens with respect when you're working with them in the lab.
Well, what's not respectful about what I'm doing?
Would you want to be taunted like Mrs. Hersher?
Miss Henry's lab sheet.
Fire! 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 Mrs. Hersher, what are you thinking? Rule number 9. Learn where the safety equipment is located and how to use it. If you're using fire at home, if you have a fire extinguisher, learn how to use that or keep something close nearby to smother it.
That's right, Miss Henry. And you shouldn't be using fire without your learning coach.
Exactly.
Even though you're not in a classroom setting, in a laboratory for your science labs, the place where you're doing your science experiments needs to be safe. Let's remember that a safe classroom is a fun classroom.
And let's make your classroom safe.